All right, now joining us, a very special guest. We had mentioned it before. He is the Bucs team leader in sacks with 7.5. He has 12 tackles for loss and is one of the most electrifying rookies this season. Should be in the running for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very lucky to be joining us on the show right now, Yaya Diaby.
Yaya Diaby.
Yaya, thank you so much for joining the show. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
We're doing good, man. We're thrilled to have you on the show. Thrilled about your NFC South Championship as well, and thrilled about your rookie season, man. You do a great job, not just in the locker room answering our questions, but getting after the quarterback, man, and getting sacks and making the big plays, finding your groove during your rookie season. So, really, really happy to have you on the show here. Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me.
You got it. What do you like about your role in Todd Bowles' defense? We saw you get your sack in Carolina on a twist, right, on a stunt. And so you've gotten sacks from inside. You've gotten sacks from outside. You drop in coverage sometimes. Yeah. What do you like about Todd Bowles' defense and how he uses you like a chess piece?
Man, I would say besides the playbook being very hard to learn,
Big complex.
yeah. And besides that, man, it's awesome, man. I love the way that he uses me and what I can do to, help out the team the best way I can, even if it's on the inside or the outside or, dropping in coverage. That's something new for me, dropping in coverage, but as the season kept going on, I just kept getting more and more comfortable.
I mean, it's one thing to get a sack, right? But I mean, what's it going to be like when you get your hands on an interception, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm taking that to the crib.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing for pass rushers to get after the quarterback and get sacks. So it's what you're supposed to do. But in this defense, he gives you the opportunity to get some picks. I mean, even Jason Pierre-Paul a couple of years ago had 2 interceptions, which was more than some of the defensive backs had.
Yeah.
Are you surprised that you had such a strong season as a pass rusher and wound up leading the team in sacks? Because, it did take a while to learn this defense, to get the trust of the coaching staff, to put you in as a starter. But are you surprised that it ended up the way it did, where you got a lot of your sacks with more playing time and had this late flurry here of 5.5 sacks down the stretch to get to 7.5?
I mean, yeah, it was a surprise, but at the same time, the way I work and the way I kind of work every day, and just wanting to better myself, I expected that from myself, but just like you said with the playbook, me trying to learn it, I was trying to figure myself out them first couple of games. It was very hard for me, mentally. I was trying to get myself together and figure it out for myself. But when I got the groove and I got the groove for the defense, it felt good, and just to be leading the team in sacks, it was a great honor.
Yeah. I think what's really exciting about your journey is with all the production you've had, you didn't even get named the starter until 10, 11 weeks into the season, I believe, after that San Francisco game. So I'm just curious, what was that moment like for you when you were told that you're going to be a starter on this defense? And how did that come about? Like, did Coach Bowles tell you? Was it one of the assistants?
Nah, it really wasn't. It was like because we have our little walkthrough before every practice, and my outside linebacker coach George, he was just like, "Yeah, you're in." I was like, "What you mean?" I was like, "That's isn't that Joe's supposed to be in?" He was like, "Nah, you're in." So that's the way I found out, and it was a great honor. All respect to Joe, because that's a guy I really had a great bond with, to show me how things were when I first got drafted. And for us, even though I got the starting spot, we still help each other out every day and try to get the best out of each other.
Yeah. You got a sack in Carolina, and Joe got a sack, this big huge strip sack at the end too.
Exactly, and I was so happy when jumped on him and everything, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was an awesome moment. Almost at the time, almost sealed the game. It was later in the fourth quarter, but up before that moment, before you're named the starter, as you're still trying to like figure things out, you kind of mentioned it before, but um, are you just feeling anxious when you're trying to get more playing time? You have to bide your time a little bit, and when you do get into the game, is it one of those realities of, oh man, like I got to make a play here if I want to prove myself and get more snaps?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's my motto. I always try to prove myself and just let my hard work show out on game day and just how I attack every day. So when I got the job, it was I had a lot of anxious. I wanted to make sure it's not a fluke, like a fluke type of thing. I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure I'm doing what I need to do to help the team be successful any way I can.
Before you were named a starter, you got your first sack, and it was kind of a trophy sack. You and I talked about this in the locker room. I mean, Josh Allen, that's a pretty good dude to sack for your first time, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. I even kept that jersey, and I was like,
There you
yeah,
go.
first sack on Josh Allen, man. I was excited about that one.
Now, at the same time, right, you chased him out of bounds. I don't even know if you touched him, right? And we saw Marquise Watts get his first sack in a very similar fashion, not even touching Derek Carr, really, right? I mean, it still counts. I'm not taking it away from you. But then what's it like to take a guy to the ground, get on top of him, and kind of get the sack the old-fashioned way? You've had your share of those. You had one on Sunday against Bryce Young.
Man, that you get them how you can, and
Yeah.
you're excited about how you get them, but when it's like actually getting the guy and taking him down to the ground, it feels way better, and yeah.
Yeah, and not only that, but you've gotten to the point now, which is really cool, where you're doing, because you wear zero, right? Sub-Zero. You and Kalijah Cansey are doing a little bit of a Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero, right? Finish him, right?
Yeah.
With that, can you kind of just tell us about you freezing Kalijah and then kicking him when he's down, and just what kind of how you came up with that as your sack celebration on Sunday?
So with that sack celebration, I was talking to Ryan Neal. He was like, man, that first one was like mind blowing. Like everyone was like, oh my God, y'all just did that. And then he was like, this time try to get Kalijah to freeze and
Mm-hmm.
then finish him off. I was like, dang, that's gonna be the one. So I was
Right.
like, so that's how that came about.
That's great. Yeah, fans go insane over it every single time they see it. So you're definitely gaining the hearts of not just Bucs fans. Obviously, you're doing that this season, but the general NFL as well with those celebrations. So please keep it coming with the celebrations each time you make a play. We just talked about Kalijah Cansey real quickly. Just tell us a little bit more about your relationship and friendship with Kalijah Cansey. You're two rookies that come into the league, and you play on the defensive front together with you on the outside and him on the inside. And you guys are quickly building this great inside outside combination and threat to opposing offenses.
Yeah, with Kalijah, you see, I already knew of Kalijah because we both was in the ACC, so
Yep.
I already knew about him and the kind of player that he is. The guy, just I mean, he get after it. So when he got drafted to the Bucks and I also got drafted, I'm like, oh yeah, we got us a good one, and our relationship just keep getting better, and it just keep building. He's teaching me, I'm helping him. We helping each other to get better and better to help this team out for the future to come.
Yeah, it's very exciting to watch because and you're focused on the game and everything, but I think people can see from afar that the two of you and really the rest of this rookie draft class it's building a core. Like, Cody's starting on the offensive line at guard, and this group is building a core nucleus for years to come for the Buccaneers. And there's been a lot of chatter for you as well about that you should be in the running for defensive rookie of the year. I know we've been banging the table for it. A lot of Bucs fans have as well. Do you feel with your performance that you should at least be in the conversation for that award?
Yeah, for me, I feel like I should be in a conversation, but the way everything is set up, like me seeing it with my own eyes, how they did Antoine Winfield, so I see how it's gonna be for years to come. So I just feel like with me, I'm honored, for me at the same time, it's just the best way I can do to help my team out. And if the accolades come, it comes. But for me, it's just helping the team out the best way I can.
I was going to say I've covered this team since 1995, and there's been a lot of dark years. But I remember when Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks came to Tampa, the only way they got the notoriety was to get on national TV. The only way you get on national TV is win a ton of games, right? And keep winning in the playoffs. Then you get those primetime games. Then everybody knows your name, nationwide, right? I mean, that's got to be the focus for you and Kalijah and this young nucleus of talent that's coming in, right? It's just, hey, we're in Tampa, small market, but if we do our job, win a bunch of games, they're going to put us in those nationally televised contests, and then we get in the playoffs, and that's even more national exposure.
Exactly. So for us, we just gotta keep winning games and put our names in the papers. Just get production. That's the way to highlight yourself a lot. So for us, we just gonna learn from this season and keep building. And the job's not done. We got way more to do with Philly this Monday coming up, but I'm just excited with the future.
There was one guy nationally who was singing your praises and giving you some well-deserved national recognition. That was Peter Schrager on Good Morning Football. How cool was that to see him just giving you a shout out, and then he's rocking your jersey the next day too?
Yeah, that was really cool, man. When I seen that, I was like, dang. He was like he needed a jersey. I told I told the equipment guy, I'm like, yeah, I gotta go ahead and send him one immediately so he can, rock it for the show. But it was really cool to see.
Yeah, we have a fan question here. Who do you have tonight, Michigan or Washington in the national championship?
Just because of my dogs, Vita and Joe and Greg and Cade. So, I'm going with Washington.
That sounds good. Well, speaking of Big Ten, Antoine Winfield Jr. was a Golden Gopher, but man, this guy, he has done everything. He's not a Golden Gopher. He's a one-man gang for you guys in defense. I mean, that play right there at the goal line, knocking that ball out of DJ Chark. We've seen that already. He did that to Desmond Ridder, right? How many touchdowns has this guy saved this year? You have that one. You have the Ridder touchdown. He broke up a touchdown in the end zone against Drake London. In the Falcons game, he had 2 tackles that were touchdown-saving tackles against Justin Jefferson in week 1. I mean, that's 5 touchdowns he's saved right now. What was the feeling inside the locker room when this guy got snubbed for the Pro Bowl? Because, I mean, he should be a Defensive Player of the Year worthy candidate, right? I mean, he should be first-team All-Pro for getting snubbed the way that he did.
Yeah, man. This guy here, man, I tell you, man, I honestly respect this guy with everything he do, man, and the way they did him, and just didn't even if you look at his stats and looked at the guy that they chose, I'm not gonna say
Baker.
the name. I'm not gonna say it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. So for a guy like him to be so humble and just come to work every day, and me being a rookie to see someone like that, and it just makes me want to work harder and just do what I need to do to help this team out. And when he made that play, I was just like, wow, man. I went to the sideline immediately. I was like, dude, like, you're the best, man. Like, it's just awesome seeing it. Like face, like live, like this man. I told him, I'm like, dude, you're the best, man, and don't let nobody else tell you different, man. Like, you're the best. Like, you deserve all your flowers.
Yeah, and you know what? He's going to get paid too, right? He's going to get flowers. He's going to get some green flowers, a lot of green flowers, right? And I'm going to tell you what about Antoine Winfield Jr. is not going to change him. I mean, if anything, it might put more pressure on him to earn the paycheck, and he's going to play just as good, if not better. Now, this is one of those dream statistical seasons. We can't expect this level of superhero play like this, but he's just one of those guys that you can pencil in, 4 or 5 sacks, 3 or 4 forced fumbles, a couple of interceptions every year because he's just that good and that consistent. When you look at that play that he made, that really, I mean, a touchdown there, right, for Carolina, it gives a 2-14 team a little bit of juice, gets them some momentum early. Maybe it tightens you guys up a little bit. That was a huge play. But when you see your team captain go full speed, and he didn't have an inch to spare, he got there at the right time, going full speed. And there's some guys in football on other teams around the league, whatever, that just look at the proximity and say, well, he's got a touchdown, I can't get it. But this guy's never say die attitude. Does that permeate the defense?
Man, I'm telling you, it adds more juice to everyone. Like, you see somebody who's putting himself on the line to to do what's best for the team, and you have no choice but to follow. So that's why when I say I respect him a lot because seeing stuff like that, it makes me want to be like, oh shoot, why am I not going that hard? Why am I not putting my body on the line to help the team out? It's little stuff like that. So I feel like him doing stuff like that, it really amps up the defense and the whole team.
Speaking of amped up, Raymond James Stadium is going to be amped up next Monday night when you guys get a rematch against the Eagles. Now, we saw what happened in week 3, 25-11. You're a different team than you were then. You've won 5 out of the last 6. The Eagles are a different team. After a 10-1 start, they've lost 5 out of the last 6. Still a dangerous team coming in here. But they ran the ball up against you guys, 201 yards. But in that game, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka played 50 snaps. Shaq Barrett played 46. Anthony Nelson played 33. You only played 25 snaps that game. Now, this was week 3 of your rookie season, right? Just 31% of the snaps at outside linebacker in that game for you. But Yaya, they're going to see a different Yaya Diaby, right, on Monday night that they didn't see back in week 3.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm excited, man. I know that was one of the teams where I was like, man, I can't wait to be able to play them again. So, because that game went left for us, and that was a time of the year where it was like, dang, like what's going on? So for us to beat a different team right now and head in the right direction, I just know all the guys gonna be locked in this week, and I know we're gonna come with that juice and that what we need to get the job done. So, and I'm just excited that it's gonna be on Monday night. All eyes on us. No better way to get a win. So I'm excited.
Prime time, under the lights, everybody watching. Going to be super fun. I know you're diving into all the work and preparation for this game, but just your initial thoughts against playing the Eagles again. What's going to be the key for the Bucs winning this game and moving to the second round of the playoffs?
So that's what we've been focusing on this season, with the run, stopping the run, and that's what we liked when we played them last time, was stopping the run. So I know they're gonna look at their film. We're gonna look at our film. They're gonna see what hurt us, and they're gonna try to do it again. So this time we got to be ready and put our big boy pants on, and as a front line, speaking for the front line, we got to put our big boy pants on and get the job done.
Yeah, stopping the run sets up everything else. You want to put them in those, passing situations, especially on 3rd and long. For you as a pass rusher, do you feel like you're still just scratching the surface as to getting after the quarterback? Because your head coach, Todd Bowles, said that the sky is the limit for you.
Man, for me, even though I had this the regular season I had, man, I still felt like I left a lot on the table. And for me, I get happy, but at the same time, I'm never a guy who gets satisfied with stuff like that because I know I left a lot out this year, and I know I can improve, and that's what I will do. I will improve, and I will keep getting better to be able to get in them double digit sack year, and as I always say, do what I can to help this team out to keep winning our division and keep getting to that opportunity to keep having opportunity to get to the Super Bowl.
Back in rookie minicamp, we saw you rocking that 0, right? And that's pretty cool. Like, you made a statement right from the get-go, right? Your first number in Tampa Bay, 0, right? You're the first Sub-Zero, Agent Zero, whatever you want to call yourself, right? And you've done that number proud. Like, that's pretty badass. And so Matt and I were out there watching you at rookie minicamp. You're like, this guy looks like a badass, Yeah. So whenever we talk about you on the show, we say it in a badass way, like Yaya Diaby. Could you say your name in like a really badass way like that?
Yaya Diaby.
There you go, man. There you go.
Our fans love it when we say it like that. So we've been doing it all year long. I mean, you see it right now. Everyone in the chat is saying it. One guy in particular continues to say it. So appreciate you saying that. I also like doing this. I said it to you in the locker room once. The schoolboy Q always does yeah when he comes in on a song. So I like doing that when you get a sack as well. And you already alluded to it that you're never satisfied. You want to do more. And you mentioned double-digit sacks. You had 7.5 this year. Is that the next goal? Understanding you're focused on the Eagles right now, but is that the next stepping stone? The next pillar is to get that double-digit sack season?
Yeah, of course. And this year, just like I said, it's been a good year, but I'm hungry. I'm hungry to get in them double-digit sack, and this offseason, I'm gonna look at what I can, look over film and look what I need to work on and what I can do, and also look at other pass rushes and try to, emulate the greats, like right now, the TJ, the Miles Garrett, all the guys that I look up to right now. So, I feel like that's what I need to do this offseason to be able to reach them double digits.
Yeah, well, this past off season, that's a picture I took. I interviewed you at the Combine right there as part of that media scrum. And I asked you what you were going to run in the 40-yard dash. And your response to me was, I'm going to shock everybody. I'm going to shock everybody. Like, you didn't give me a number. I asked you what you were going to run, but you said, I'm going to shock everybody. And you ran a 4.51. And we kind of knew the Buccaneers liked you, and we had you as a Bucs best bet. In other words, if they're going to pick up an edge rusher in the middle rounds, we had you on as our guy. Like, it's going to be this Louisville kid, Yaya Diaby, and you certainly have lived up to that, and we're glad that the Bucs made us right in picking you, because you certainly are picking up where you left off from your last year at Louisville. But you mentioned something really interesting in terms of the offseason, because you're not going to have to do top 30 visits. You don't have to go to the Senior Bowl where Matt and I saw you for the first time, and Josh and Bailey and Sly and all of our Pewter reporters were like, wow, this guy's pretty damn good. And actually, Warren Sapp called me about you, and because I always try to get Sapp's perspective on, pass rushers in the draft, and he watches film, and he was there one day in Mobile. And he said, the only guy here worth the damn is this Yaya Diaby guy, And I'm telling you, it's like, he was right. So when you look at your offseason, you're going to be a Buccaneer. You don't have to combine train or anything. Where do you want to get at in terms of your weight? Do you want to add some weight? Do you just want to add some size, some muscle? You're already fast as hell. Where do you want to improve physically, and how are you going to do it this offseason when you have nothing to worry about except for working on your craft in a Buccaneer defense?
That's funny to say, because I was literally talking about that today. I was like, man, I don't think I could get any bigger, and I don't want to get any bigger. I just want to work more on my flexibility. I'm gonna do a lot of yoga this off season. I'm gonna do some Pilates just different stuff like that to just help me, bend the edge even better. Just little stuff like that to just help my body out because I already know I have the strength and the abilities. It's just them little missing pieces, like being able to bend the edge the way I want to. So, that's what I feel like I'm gonna work more on this off season is, doing Pilates and yoga.
What type of pass rush moves do you want to really add to your tool belt in the off season? Because you're starting to get that push pull down too, by the way, which is looking good.
Yeah. I wanna keep improving on the push pull. I wanna just keep improving on my long arm and definitely the double swipe and just little stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. We really appreciate having you on the Pewter Report podcast. Certainly, you've been a fan favorite all year long on our Pewter Report podcast too. So it's been a treat. We enjoy our interactions in the locker room. You're a great interview as well.
Yep.
So just continued success to you and your Buccaneer teammates, and get that W out there on Monday night, man.
Man, I appreciate you guys for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Yaya. Appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
One more time.
Thank you, Bucs fan as well.
Yeah, the Pewter people love this guy. He is Yaya Diaby.
Yaya Diaby.
There you go, man. I appreciate you.